Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. So today's video, I'm going to do just a quick overview and review of our stay at the Universal Terra Luna Resort. We stayed there for 2 nights, April 17th through April 19th. It was a last minute trip when we got our preview tickets for Epic Universe, and I just wanted to do a quick review, some of my initial thoughts, some things. Now the resort has been open less than a month when we stayed there, so there are some things that hopefully will get better, but also some things that you should know about if you're thinking about booking it. We are booked to stay at Stella Nova in June, and I purposely booked Terra Luna because I wanted to be able to compare them. I know I'm gonna like Stella Nova more just because it is going to have a walkway to Epic Universe, and we're doing 2 days at Epic Universe, and that really makes a difference because there is no walkway for Terra Luna. So even for the buses, there was a long wait for the buses. I'll talk about that. But then at the end of the day, there was a long wait, and you saw Stella Nova, and there really wasn't that many people there. Ours was full, and we were in the overflow when we got there, but Stella Nova, because a lot of people were just taking the walkway. So, if it's just a few dollars, I would definitely stay at Stella Nova if you're going to Epic Universe just for the location, because there is a walkway and you have that option. You may not use it, but you have that option. Okay, so let's talk about check-in and check-out. So a check-in, I believe, is at 4 p.m. We got there after 9 o'clock, but I believe it's at 4 p.m. They did have an option to check in, to do online check-in beforehand. And I did do that. So we were all checked in before, and then you just go to the desk when you get there. When I got there, there was, the desk, and there was a really long line to check in, and there was a little sign that said, if you have online check-in, go here. So I stood there. It was the only one, and there's this really long line. But the team member that was at that station kept taking people from the other line. So she took 2 people from that line, and that's the second time I'm like, are you not checking in online check-in? And I'm standing there, by myself, and she goes, oh, did you online check-in? And I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm right next to the sign. She goes, oh, let me take them first. So the online check-in, that was, kind of point. I mean, it still saved me a lot of time because there was this long line, but I was clearly standing right there. And there were people that I was told, they're like, oh, we were there too. And she kept taking from the other line. So we got in this line. So I just spoke up, and then she ended up taking me. I did, in my survey afterwards, I did report that and say, that you need to tell your cast members or team members, that if someone's standing there, she just thought I was standing there. It was very odd. It was just a very odd thing, but it wasn't just me. There were 2 other people that had left the line and left and gone to the regular line because of that. So, and to get, the online check-in really saved a lot of time because I didn't have to give my credit card. All I had to show my ID. They printed out the cards, and that was it. So it does save a lot of time. So I do recommend it, but there is a sign there. But I would just say if the person is taking people from the other line, just speak up. Now, checkout is 11 a.m. We were able to get a late checkout just because we were so exhausted. We weren't planning on doing anything, but we did get a late checkout for 12 p.m. It was complimentary. They say it's not always guaranteed. I did ask, and I said, is there an opportunity to stay any later? They said, no, we were sold out. And I said, is there ever an opportunity to pay for an additional late checkout? And they said there may be, but not at this time. So right now, if you are looking for a late checkout, you're only going to get that complimentary hour till noon. Okay, so a couple things. We were on the 4th floor. I had in the online check-in, I had asked to be on the 1st floor or close to an elevator. We got neither. So we were on the 4th floor, which was fine, but we were almost as far away from the elevator as possible. We were on the odd side, and it started at 4001, and we were 4005. So we were the 3rd over. We had to walk down this whole long hallway, which wasn't it was only 2 nights. That wasn't a big deal, but I would probably maybe email them or something for when I do Stella Nova. So if you want to know the room numbers from the elevator bank, it was 4,000 to 4,044 on the one side, and then the other side was 4,048 to 4,106. So the 40, 44, and 40, 48 kind of moving down is going to be the closest to the elevator. So if you are going to request a, and I'll put it in the description box below, but if you are going to request a room number and you want to be close to the elevator, I would say close to the elevator, and you want to be on the, I think it goes up to 9 floors, 9, whatever, 9044 or 9048. I didn't go up every floor to make sure the numbers are the same, but I would say it's probably about that. And then for the first floor, there are guest rooms on the first floor. That was something we like, first floor, because we don't have to worry about the elevators. There are rooms on the first floor, and the guest rooms start at 1,058 and they go to 1,106. So 1,058, and those are the it's also where the game room is. So maybe you don't want to have to be on the first floor because we have to pass the arcade every time. And then also the fitness center. So the fitness center is right there. So the fitness center, I did do a tour of it, and I'm going to post a separate video, but here's a quick little tour right now. Decent sized fitness center. When I'm going to theme parks, I'm not going to the fitness center, but it is a really nice, small, but it had pretty much good amenities. There were a couple people in there when I went to film. Now, housekeeping only comes every other day. So we didn't get any housekeeping service. We didn't even realize that because I hadn't even looked, but we realized that when we got back from Epic Universe, and our room was completely untouched, which was fine. So I did look, and it is every other day. So just know that housekeeping is every other day. We're used to DVC where you don't get service until the 4th day. So that was fine, but just know that you only get service every other day. And then if you are planning on doing laundry, there's guest laundry on floor 2 and floor 9. So those are the floors that have the guest laundry. We had a standard view, so the regular standard view. And so we were on the odd side. So just keep that in mind because it's odd and even. So we were on the odd side, which faced the street. We could see like Icon Park, I think it was. I'm not even sure. But we really, we couldn't see Epic Universe, and we didn't have the pool. I believe the pool is the even side. Now there is a cafe market. It's called Omega Cafe and Market, and it is only open till 10. We got back at 9:45, and my husband had ordered from the room to pick up, and he thought he could do that at night. So we were looking for it and we couldn't find it. And by the time we realized it, it was 10 o'clock and they were closed. They did have like a grab and go until 11 o'clock. And he was able to get some like personal pizzas, which he said were okay, but at least they got to eat something because we really hadn't eaten since lunch because we kind of skipped dinner because that's when we were able to ride some things. So, just know that it closes at 10 and then there is some grab and go until 11. Now, as far as ordering, you can only order, breakfast is from 7 to 11 a.m. Then lunch is from 12 to 5, and then dinner is from 5 to 10. So those are the time frames. Now you can do pickup where you order the cafe, you order, and then you pick it up. That's only available in the morning from 7 a.m. to 9:15. And I'm sure they do that because they know people are trying to get to the park. So 7 a.m. to 9:15 is the only time you can do the pickup. I will post the link to the restaurant in the description box below. I don't even know how my husband found it, but he was able to find it, but it's really hard to find. So, but he was able to find it. It's not through the app. It's through I guess it's on like LoewsHotels.com. But anyway, it is in the description box below. So from 7, I would just save it so you have it. It is very convenient. You just have to go downstairs to pick it up, but really convenient to go ahead and order rather than having to go. Otherwise, we were going to skip breakfast altogether. Now, the rooms themselves were what I expected. They are, 2 queen beds. The beds were comfortable. I was honestly, the second night I was so tired it didn't matter, but they're comfortable. The pillows are like foam pillows, not my favorite. I did bring a pillow with me because a friend told me they were awful. I didn't think they were awful, but they're not the best either. So if you don't like foam pillows and you can travel, I would suggest bringing your own pillow. If you don't really care, then don't worry about it. But when we go to Celanova, I will be bringing my own pillow. The closet size was decent. There is a nice full-length mirror. As far as the lighting in the bathroom, for women doing their makeup, I'm definitely bringing some sort of like light up mirror because it was awful. It was really, really hard. And, for those of us who you do your makeup in the morning, sometimes the lighting can be not great, but it's not horrible. It was really, really hard. And I have like blonde eyebrows that I have to paint on. I couldn't see them because of the way the lighting was. So just know, it's, you know, if you have any sort of lighting that you can bring, I recommend it. But the full length mirror was also really nice as well, but a good storage. It was like a basic average, you know, hotel value plus. The downside, the one thing that is awful, like it gets, you know, if it was like a 1 to 10, it would be a 1, probably a 0, is the water pressure. The water pressure is horrendous. I mean, it took us all so long to take showers because the water pressure is so bad. It gets hot and cold. It doesn't get very hot, but it gets hot enough, but it is abysmal. Now, I didn't have to wash my hair this trip. We were only there 2 nights, so it was not a big deal. When we go to Stella Nova in June, if the water pressure is the same now I only know our hotel room, but it was bad. If the same, I will have to go to the gym to wash my hair. There was no possible way that I could wash my hair in that shower without taking 2 hours because it would just take forever. It was really, really bad. So that was the only thing that I would say was really, really bad was the water pressure. Again, short trip, not a big deal. And honestly, it's something that I could deal with except for the days that I wash my hair. But there was just, I even told my husband, I'm like, there is no way I could wash my hair in the shower. So if you're like me, there is a shower downstairs in the gym and it had really good water pressure. Like, I mean, even like intense. It was kind of the other end of the spectrum. So if you're like me and, you know, consider that, just know that there are showers in the gym that you have that option because if that's the case at Stella Nova, that's what I'll probably be doing. Now, we didn't use the pool. I did go out there a little bit and glance at it. It looked really nice, but I didn't use it. There were some people, you know, out there. No, you know, it doesn't have any of the bells and whistles. It doesn't have a slide or anything like that, but it's a nice pool. So if you are looking for something that could pull, you know, there was some kids out there playing and everything, which, you know, it was basic. It was a, you know, typical value hotel pool. They had a bar there as well. So I thought it was a really nice, and especially for the price of the hotel, I thought it was good. Now they do have bus transportation to City Walk and to Epic Universe. I went into this in my recap and in my video for Epic Universe. The line for Epic Universe was really, really long. Now this was, you know, past older previews. I don't know if this is going to be typical. I think it will be because I think a lot of people staying here will be staying at you know, we'll be going to Epic Universe. The issue here is Stella Nova has a walking path and Terra Luna does not, which I already mentioned. So to get there, you either have to drive or you have to take the bus. And the drive is, you know, the parking lot is really, really long. So you might as well, and you're gonna have to pay for parking. So you might as well take the bus. I thought they probably could have had a couple more buses coming. They did move pretty fast and the bus stop is definitely closer. You definitely, if you have the option to drive or take the bus, I would just plan earlier and take the bus because the bus leaves you pretty close to the front of the park. So that's the only thing is it's right outside the front entrance, but the line does get really long. But we did see a couple buses coming from City Walk as well, which will take you to the other parks as well. And again, coming back, it's literally across the street. So they crammed as many people as they could in that bus, and because they're like, we're going across the street, so like cram in there, and that's what we did. It wasn't that uncomfortable. We were standing, but you know, just know, like, we saw Stella Nova and there was like maybe 20 people and we had a full cart, and that was because a lot of people for Stella Nova were probably just walking back. Okay, so that's it. That's my review and, you know, quick review of Terra Luna. Again, we weren't there that long. The gift shop was nice. We were able to purchase my son's pop-up band before. They do have, you know, concierge or like guest services where you can purchase tickets and all of that. All of that's there. They have luggage holders, so you can hold your luggage. So everything that they have at the other Universal hotels, they have at this hotel. I thought it was, you know, if I was to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 6. But it's a value plus, and we've stayed at, you know, usually we in the past we have stayed at the other resorts, like the deluxe resorts, mainly because for the express pass. So that's kind of what we're used to. but we had the option of looking, Helios was available, and it was going to be $1,000 for 2 nights, where we paid less than $300 for 2 nights. So while I would have liked to have had the hotel to take a break during the day, I don't even know if we would have. So the price, the value, it's really great. It's comfortable. It's clean. The food was really good at the market. The breakfast was really good. I breakfast there both days. They had gluten-free bread, which is awesome. And I thought it was great. So I think it's a good solid 6.5 out of 10. The worst thing is the water pressure of the shower. I don't know how they fix that. Hopefully they figure that one out because it's bad. But other than that, and again, the check-in, but that was, I think, just a team member that probably didn't know, you know, I think that was probably just maybe a one-off. But other than that, I thought it was a good hotel. Excited. We are staying at Stella Nova for 5 nights, and I'll be anxious to compare the two. I would say of the 3 Epic Universe, if you are having a trip for Epic Universe, Helios is great if it's close by, but if it's really expensive. So if you can afford it, great, stay there. But if you are between the other 2, I would say Stella Nova, just because of the walking path. That's just going to give you some more options. But as far as the hotels, they look identical. That's the only thing. And I would say also, if you're staying there in the near future and you're calling an Uber, a lot of the Ubers, I had 4, I didn't get an Uber for the 4th try because they kept getting lost. Literally, one even drove in to the parking lot and then left because and then they drove off, and they said they were coming, but they were lost. And I just ended up canceling it, and it took me, the 4th try was the one that we finally got. So don't recommend an Uber, at least until people kind of get, it's kind of confusing because everything is brand new. But anyway, with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.